Hello and welcome. I'm John Kelly, a member of your web support team, and I'm here to show you how to get a domain name for your website. To get started, first we need to know what kind of business you have and where your business is. So obviously you know that. You know who you are and what you do, and the reason why that's important is if I go to Google, for example, and I'm a person looking for what you do and where you do it, that's pretty much what we're going to type right into the search window when somebody does a search for you like I did here. So you can see best hair salon in East Brunswick, and East Brunswick happens to be in New Jersey. And in this case, you use a hair salon that I'm searching for in the East Brunswick area, and lo and behold, look what comes up. Best hair salon in eastbrunswick.com is the actual domain name for the website. So what is a domain name? A domain name is what actually points to your website. It's what we call the web address for your website. And as you can see, somebody not knowing who you are already, and that's the idea of having this website, they don't know who you are, but they're looking for someone like you. Uh, they're not going to know your business name. So there's no sense of putting your business name in here and doing a search. They don't know you. So what they did do is search for what you do and where you did it, and it brought up a whole list in Google search results of just those things. So as you can see, anywhere on this page you see that's in bold, that happens to be the keywords that were used in a search. So that's how we're going to figure out what kind of domain name that we're going to get. We want to get a domain name that includes what we do and where we do it. Now, let's explain something here though. If you take a look at this domain name that Cheryl picked out for her website here, best hair salon in eastbrunswick.com. First of all, we always want to get a .com. Okay, .com stands for commercial. It's the most popular. It's what people most recognize. There are other what are called TLDs, which is the extension of the domain, and such as .org or .net or .co, .co or .us, etc. Okay, those are nice. Okay, but really they're just nice to have. But what's most useful is the .com. So that's what I suggest you get. Now, here's another thing I need you to really understand. Just because this person bought Best Hair Salon in eastbrunswick.com did not automatically make them come up #1 on page 1 of Google. Okay, this took a lot of time for this to happen. And when I mean a lot of time, I'm saying within the first year it took for this to happen, but the fact remains it does happen, and it happens all the time. Okay, so now you have an idea of that. Let's go and figure out how to get a website, a new domain name. So if you're on the register page of the website here on a registration, very first step is how to get a domain name. You can get your domain name anywhere you wish. There's plenty of domain registrars out there. GoDaddy happens to be one of the biggest one. Mike Colosi has a GoDaddy reseller store he specifically bought to make it easier for his members to buy domain names. And reason being is it strips out a lot of the things that confuse people when they buy domain names. And I'm going to take you on a tour of just how exactly that works. However, if you do have a domain name already, you purchased it elsewhere, keep in mind that we will need your account number and your password to log into your domain name so we can forward it to your new website host. If you purchased a domain name here by clicking on the big start button, you don't have to worry about any of that. Your domain name will automatically go to where it needs to go for us. There's nothing more that you'll need to do other than buy the name. So let's get started. If we click on the start button, it's going to open up the Mike Colosi's domain store. And from here, all we simply need to do is start doing a search for the name that we want. And this is the fun part. So basically you go down here to the search window, either here or up here. Either place will work. So let's say that I'm looking, let's use the hair salon example again. Let's say I'm looking for best salon, I don't know, in New York City.com. Oh, I don't want to put the .com, it already says it there. Okay, if you wanted another domain extension, this is the list you would pick it from. But again, we're only right now concerned about the primary domain name for your website, and that's what we're looking for right now. So I typed in best salon in New York City, and it has a .com extension. If you notice, I didn't put any spaces between the words. Do not put spaces. If you need a space, if it's absolutely critical you have a space, you can use a hyphen or a dash is what that is. So you can use a dash, you can use an underscore, but I don't recommend it. I recommend it keeping it all one word. Okay, now I click on search and it's going to find out if that name is actually available. And quite honestly, I am shocked that bestsalon.newyorkcity.com is actually available. I really am. In fact, I may just go and buy that domain name. No, I won't do that to you. Somebody might need that. So, but anyway, if we decide we want to use this domain name, great. If it came up with a big X saying it's not available, then we simply go back and do another search until we do find it. But keep in mind, they do give you other suggestions over here that you may also want to consider that are available. Okay, so let's say we want to take this domain name, and this is going to be our primary domain website address for our new website. Well, here's what we simply need to do. We're going to add it. Okay, and that goes onto our shopping cart for our domain name, and we're going to continue to register. Okay, now chances are you don't already have a username or password unless you've already bought a domain through this store. So plain and simply, all we have to do is go in, fill this out real quick, and we'll just do the required fields here, and 2, 3, 4, anywhere, street, and oops, I'm sorry, that's not it. It needs an email address, so John at closewebsites.com, and then we're going to do the address, city, I'll use my city, state, we're going to use New York. Not that it matters, I'm not going to complete this checkout, but just to give you an idea, 4625. Okay, phone number. Okay, so again, I'm not actually checking out completely here. So now that I filled in my registration information, the next step is going to ask me, how long do you want to register your domain name for? Okay, now I accidentally put 2 domain names on here by accident, but here's what we're going to do. No problem, we're going to remove one of them. So let's remove that one domain name so we don't confuse you. Okay. All right. So this is what you have. You have one domain name, and it's bestsalon.newyorkcity.com. The registration length. If you notice, it goes to 5 years, and this is important. You can register anywhere from 1 to 10 years. The more, the better is the case here. 5 years is the minimum that I recommend, and any SEO expert out there would recommend that you purchase a new domain name for when you're going to actually use it on a website. If you're buying other domain names just to have them and you're not going to use them on a website, for example, you just buy a domain name that happens to be your business name and you're going to forward it to your existing website, then you can just buy it for 1 year and register it every year as it comes up. But whatever website address we're going to use, like this one we're going to use for a primary website, we want to make sure we register for at least 5 years or more. Reason being is search engines do look at your domain registration, and when they see that you're registered for a period of at least 5 years or more, they take you more serious, and it does help your search engine factors. It does help your ranking. Okay, and you can look that up on Google and find that out right away. So that's just a little tip for you. That's what I would recommend. Over here would be your details for your registration, and so make sure that's correct. If not, click edit. Now, certified domain. This is really not that important. You can just leave it uncertified. Certified, if you move your mouse over this, you can read the little pop-up box explains what that means. Most people don't really know what it is anyway. As far as I'm concerned, save yourself the $2.99. Okay, so the next, click on next after we've done that. Now it's going to ask us, do we want privacy for our domain name registration? It defaults to the standard, okay, which is really all you need. So if you want to get privacy, meaning that somebody can't look up your domain name and get your name, your address, and phone number that you use to register your domain name, then you may want to pick one of these 2 over here. Okay, but if you're not concerned about that, you're a public business, standard registration is just fine. Okay, so we can click on next, and from there it's going to take us into our checkout process. Okay, so it's going to tell us what we have. It's going to say, hey, do you want some other ones? It's up to you. Um, for 5 years, it's telling us what the price would be, and then we can go on and check out. And once you have checked out completely, what's going to happen is you're going to, let me just back up here for example for a moment. It's going to send you a confirmation email, but it's also going to send us an email too here at Web Support, letting us know that you purchased your domain name, and it's automatically going to point it to the correct web host for us. If you have any questions on how to get a domain name, feel free to email me, john@colosiwebsites.com, or you can also go up here to contact Web Support, and all of us here at Web Support will get your email as well, and we'll be happy to help you out.